Hey, here we are. We've been kind of getting this thing going. A little video today about dads in recovery. A couple of things I want to share with you. I was sitting out here today and I got stung. I got a wasp was in my drink, and so I looked like I've been onto the Botox today. that's just one of those things. Life goes on. The show must go on. And had a friend come by and who's in recovery and who's also a dad, and we just got talking about, being a dad in recovery, and he's reasonably new, and reconnecting with his kids, and it just. But I was asking him about his dad, and how was it with his dad, because often, we didn't have great relationships with our own father, and just this is one of those things I want to tell you about the disease, or share with you about the disease, or ask you what you think about the disease, because my friend who's sitting right here was adopted, and says he had a great relationship with his dad. His dad was quite available, and and he looked up to his dad, and all of that. But the genetics, it seems, of the disease, I'm not a scientist and I'm not a doctor, but I know that that often where there's alcoholism in the family, it's quite obvious that the disease shows up in the kids, and of the hundreds now of men that I've talked to in recovery who are dads, the thing that really concerns them the most is that their kids are also going to be addicts and alcoholics. I was just on a call earlier, and it was we're talking about going to the International Convention next year in Vancouver for the 12-step AA, and we were talking about that, and my kids are coming, My son said, "Yeah, I'll be there, Dad." And we've rented a house and all that kind of stuff. And my daughter said she'll be there, not every night, but she'll be there. And isn't that cool? Two of my kids are in recovery. And one of the fellas on the call said, well, his son's going to come as well. I didn't realize that his son had been sober since he was 18. And so it really runs in the family. It really does. And with my buddy that's sitting here right now, he doesn't really know. He didn't know his dad, his biological father, and or his biological mom, but the odds are really good that one of them or both of them was addict and alcoholic, and so if you're a dad in recovery, and your kids are a big concern for you, or you love them, of course you do, and you're wondering, how the hell do I rebuild this relationship? Maybe some of their childhood you just weren't available. You were on a, you were drinking and drugging and or whatever, and you weren't available. And now you are available, but it's, where do I start to rebuild this thing? And maybe they're going into their teen years, and you're really concerned. You're like, holy shit, because I remember, by the time I was 15, I was a full-blown alcoholic. I was. Everything that all of the pointers towards, am I an alcoholic, were there before I was 15. And I don't know how I survived. I really don't. And the world is different today. That kids can, we were doing drugs at the time too, and it's just not the same. Kids don't know what they're getting, and we didn't know then either. But it was a different world, and so here we are. And the other thing is, I was talking to my sponsor this morning, and we're that a lot of, in the 12-step world, there's not a lot of talk about this. We help men get sober and learn to live the principles in their life, but often we're not really talking about parenting, about being the dad, and so it just become this, all the arrows are pointed for me to do this, and because it's worked, you know, well in my own family with my own kids, and I've seen so many men struggle, and their kids die. You know, there's nothing kind of more tragic than when that happens, and then we're like, what did I do? Where did I miss? How did I, you know, and all of that comes with it. And so, you know, I want to shine the light on this subject for as many men as possible. And we're going to start a new course on the 15th of October, so it's coming up pretty quick. If you're kind of interested, let's talk about it. See if you kind of qualify for this one, or you know, and we'll work on it. There's, you know, the relationship with your dad is part of it. It's really a part of it, and I think I told this story before that, you know, in my interviews I talked to this one particular man who was so angry at his father, and that he didn't even want to talk about his dad, and yet he had no relationship with his own children, and kids see, you know, if we hate our father, we're setting an example for them, and so we have to find some way to be there for, you know, with our own dads, and heal the relationship with our own dads, and that's part of the course. And so there's lots to it. It's 8 weeks, and you know, I want to talk to more men about their relationship with their kids, and support as many men. And you know, we've gone through a time in the last 40 or so years when maybe maybe society has kind of thought, well, families don't need men, and we are needed. You know, if you've ever fallen into that, if you're a mom and you're mad at your ex, so mad at him that you're not going to let him see the kids, it's damaging. And I'd like to talk to you too. It's damaging. I know we're angry. I know that things didn't go how we thought they were going to go, but kids need their dad, period, full stop. You know, ask your ChatGPT to tell you what happens to kids that don't have dads. They go to jail. They get pregnant in high school. They don't finish high school. You know, there's a lot of stuff that the statistics are so much different for fatherless homes. So if dad, you know, you kicked him out 10 years ago, and I don't blame you, because he was a friggin' asshole, you know, and he's sober now, let's give him a chance. Let's try to rebuild that. So that's the deal. You know, I'm grateful for my experiences, a couple of marriages, kids with a couple of different women, and often I'm working with men and they've got kids with 3 different women, you know, 5 kids, 3 different women. It sounds like Elon. I think Elon has 12 with 3 or 4 different women, but he can afford to, and I think he's being the dad, you know, who knows anyway. I digress. So give me a call, let's talk about this, and or share this, and love you guys. If you're watching it on Facebook, make a comment or like it, and if I'm going to put it on YouTube, if you see it there, same thing, make a comment. And it's the mission to support men in being trusted as dads, you know, and having trusted relationships with their kids. And it's work, and I want to help men to achieve that. Okay, love you lots. Thanks.